I'm in a New York state of mind.
New York.
New York City is the place where they said he'd be.
Says he was the closest thing New York had to a Dirty Harry.
532.
No good deed ever goes unpunished.
That FBI agent guy, somebody told me he's got your phones tapped.
The kind of old-fashioned cop who preferred working the streets and making arrests to taking tests toward promotion.
You're assigned to a vandalism case in Athens.
All points bulletin for the Bo Dietl Show on the Gas Digital Network. Here's your host, Bo Dietl.
Hey, welcome to One Tough Podcast. I'm joined here as always with my man Carlo.
Yo.
Yeah, and we got a great response from our show last week. So today what we're going to do is we're going to take a lot of these calls and communications because this is our last podcast of the summer. Matter of fact, I got to jump up in Newburgh, New York with Danny A. We're filming
a new movie.
Filming a new movie called
Exciting
Appalachia.
stuff. I'm looking forward to it.
You know what Appalachia was?
I know people that were there.
What, the people with no teeth in Appalachia?
No, the people
What are
that
you
ran
talking
away
about?
from the meeting.
Oh, you know who I'd play? Carmine Galante's lawyer.
That's a good role.
Yeah, I'm excited
You
about
look like Carmine Galante's
No,
lawyer
I
today.
play his lawyer, Carlo. But the only problem is I don't know what they're going to do with my beard or my hair. So I don't know. But you know what? I'm an actor. So whatever they got to do. They want to shave my fucking head, they'll do whatever they want to do. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. You know, we had Bernie Kerik was going to come on. He's got a new book coming out. We're going to get him in the beginning in September to get Bernie Kerik on, former police commissioner, that I have been really strong about trying to get the president and get him a pardon because, I mean, look, Bernie Kerik was a great commissioner. He made a couple of mistakes. That's what pardon's all about. People making, what do you call that? When you make amends, what's the word?
He made amends. He rehabilitated.
No, another word. Come on, Carlo. You got
Made
good
penance.
Not
made
penance.
it right.
Carlo, you got to come up with better fucking words than that. He made
Reparations.
I don't know, but he made it. Whatever the fuck it is, he made
And
it.
beyond.
Yeah.
So we'll have him talk about that next time.
Yeah.
So we got a great response last week. Everyone wants to hear what you have to say about the current situations in the news with President Trump and everything that's happened. Actually, since we stopped recording the podcast last Thursday till now, so much has happened. But let's get to some emails because a lot of people wrote in. They want to weigh in on what you said about Chicago, what you said about New York. There's so many things going on. So the first email, this is actually very interesting. This is from an officer in Chicago Police Department who is there on the ground, and he wants to stay anonymous because he's afraid that someone might go after him for what he's going to say. But this is what he has to say. Bo, I appreciate you weighing in on the Chicago situation, but you are a little off. Chicago crime is up because of the mayor playing politics with the police. He had the superintendent that is supposed to be running the Chicago Police Department, but the mayor won't stop micromanaging him because of the votes that the mayor, Rahm Emanuel, wants from the brown and black community. He does not want cops taking back the street corners and getting the hoods locked up because of the cops versus blacks perception in the media. He lets the black community protesters close down 2 major highways protesting killings because he won't let police protect those people trying to get to work. When he had Gary McCarthy, who's currently running for mayor, as police superintendent, he hid the video of the Laquan McDonald shooting until after the election because he was in a runoff and would have lost the election had that video come out. He then threw him under the bus when the video was released and called him a distraction when crime was headed in the right direction. Our detective division has been cut so low because of the mayor closing down detective divisions and when he was elected, so the solve rate for crimes is very low. It's a lot, but the reason that the crime is high and the criminals that don't fear the police in Chicago.
With all respect, when I've been talking about it for over 10 years about the crime problem, specifically the murder rate, well over 5,500 murders in the last 10 years in one little city of Chicago. what is it, 2.5, 3 million people at the most. My point was when I talked about bringing in federal response to it, and I've called upon the president to get involved, have a news conference, bring in federal assistance there. Why? These people in Chicago don't have any rights because they're brown and they're black people getting killed. That doesn't mean anything. A little girl sitting on a porch getting shot in the head don't mean anything. This is a terrible crisis. This is not Afghanistan. This is Chicago in America. We must gather around and put our hands together. There is a response. The federal response using federal RICO. A lot of people, they use it with the Goombas so they could use it with gangs. What it is 3 or more involved in a criminal enterprise, whether they're robbing people, shooting people, murdering people. That would constitute a RICO crime. With a RICO crime, you could get indictments, you put undercovers there, and then you go after, you lock up the whole gangs, each gang for conspiracy. You get search warrants, you hit the houses, their cars. Look, there is an answer here. With all respect to this officer, they do need help. And Rahm Emanuel is a fucking zero, and he's the mayor there, the same as the fucking zero Mayor de Blasio in New York City. Only in New York City, the NYPD has been working so hard, and they're doing such a great job. No attaboy from the mayor, but as I said on a couple of podcasts, that the mayor has given the New York City Police Department everything they want as far as equipment goes. But in reality, Chicago does have an answer, and I think it's the preponderance is on our president to realize, let's get there. I'll join President Trump in Chicago, and we'll plot out an avenue of getting and stopping these murders in Chicago. As far as the mayor, he's a fucking zero, and now the federal government has to be brought in. If I'm the president of the United States and people are dying in one of my major cities, that's a bit of a responsibility for the president. And I know Donald Trump. He gets his nose into this thing, those murders will go down. And I stand by, and I'll say it on my podcast, President Trump, I'm ready to join. I want to stop those murders, and I'll come for free. I want to stop the murders in Chicago because the people of Chicago deserve more than they've been getting with this liberal Rahm Emanuel.
All right, so you heard it there. We got to send in the feds. Here's our second listener email from Mike. Bo, I'm really glad you have your own podcast. I have loved hearing your stories for years on the Don Imus Show. I would like to know where you met Don Imus and how the two of you became friends. On several Imus in the Morning shows, you talk about times that you saved him. Can you tell us about that?
Well, we can't talk about the times we saved them, but we all know I met him probably around 1986 after I retired from the police department. There was a problem there. There was some threats against his daughters, and we got involved. We found out who was doing it, and we ended up locking the guy up. We put a surveillance and all that. But subsequently, if Don had any kind of threats, I'm always there for him. Don Imus truly was a friend. Don Imus helped my career tremendously. There's a lot of things there, and we all know about Don Imus. He had a little problem with the cocaine and the alcoholia. So he used to get fucking whacked out, coked out, but he sort of light. He's been straightened out. He went to AA, and he's turned his life around because he was on a death wish spiral, and I'm really happy. He's got a lovely wife, and his son Wyatt, believe it or not, turned out to be some gentleman. And his Deirdre, his wife, is lovely, and his son's great. And we wish he retired. He's down outside of Houston, and we wish him the best of health for him and his family. But Don Imus was one of the responsible people in my success also. Everywhere I went in America, people would say, "Hey, Bo, I know your voice from the Imus in the Morning show." I did them for 33 years,
Wow.
long time. A couple of times, he banned me, but, one of the times when he got thrown off the air, I brought him into Roger Ailes, me and Imus into Roger Ailes, where we got him back on Fox Business and on the network. Don Imus is a friend of mine, and God bless him. I hope he's having a great retirement.
Well, he's really an innovator. He created the whole, redid the game with morning radio. And
Well, you know what?
Howard
Howard Stern's a friend of mine. I know Howard for a long time. But Howard Stern copied off of Don Imus. Don Imus was the original shock jock. And in reality, Don Imus, but he's one of the greatest interviewers I've ever heard. He's not a big college graduate guy. He's like, I think he's a high school graduate too, but his vocabulary really expanded in his life. He's well read, and he's one of the greatest interviewers I've ever heard. And I've heard him interview everyone.
Well, all that experience definitely makes it for a good interview. Third email, this is from Chris. Chris writes, binging on the podcast, Bo. Got a question. Who were your mentors your first few years as a cop? I would be interested to know what Bo learned from his mentors on his first year on the job compared to what he was taught in the academy, and how much has it changed?
I'm going to be very honest with you. I had no fucking mentors. The truth of the matter is, when I first came on in the police department in the early 70s, all the old timers were lazy fucks. They didn't want to do much of anything. And they told me, keep your hands off the radio. My mentors were just me gathering up some of the young rookie guys, and we went after all the drug dealers in Elmhurst, all the Colombian drug dealers. We started taking guns off the street, drugs. We became our own attack squad, and we used to have big walkie-talkies. I used to put sweatshirts, and we were working undercover when we were in uniform. And mentor, I'm sorry to say I had no mentors. I became a cop's cop by myself because I knew one thing. I wanted to change. I wanted to help people, and that's why I became a cop. And once I did it, it was like drinking fucking heroin, because I loved it. I loved it. And being a cop to help people was one of the most important reasons I got on there. So in reality, no mentor. I guess the only mentor was probably my father, who used to beat the shit out of me every day and hit me with the belt buckle if I was disrespectful. He taught me respect, honor, and that's the important thing. You never got me wound up in any kind of scandal. There was no way that I could be corrupted. And I would say the only mentor I really had was my father, because he taught me the reality of hard work equals success. And no matter what I did, I work hard and it equals success. So sorry to say, I had no mentors. I'll never forget when Sonny Grasso, he was a famous detective, The French Connection, when he put me in TV Guide. And he says, and then there was this kid, Bo Dietl, who I broke into the job. I called him up. I said, hey, fucko, I never even met you in my life. I said, you put me in, you're all over TV Guide. I said, that's bullshit. You never broke me in. You broke my dick. That's what you broke in. So you know what? No mentors. The only one I learned from was myself. I wish I could sit here and say that I had a mentor. No, if anything, they were distractors, not people that helped me, because I wanted to do the job, and I did the job, and everything I did was on my own. And I went after these gangs. I went after Nicky Bonds guys in Harlem with the drug dealers. Man, I loved it. And I tell you what, it was so exciting. I wish I had a camera stuck up my ass so people could have seen some of the fun things that we used to do. You know, people ask me about hanging people off buildings. Yeah, I did it. I never dropped no fucking body. But they told me what I wanted to know. They worry about waterboarding. People have to realize one thing. When you're out there, you're trying to protect the people. And when one of the things that came to issue was like when that nun was raped by those two fucking animals, and they shoved the broom into her vagina, they pissed on her, and they left 27 crosses carved in the body. And then all of a sudden I grabbed the one scumbag. He told me to go fuck my mother. And I blacked out a little bit, but his jaw got broken. You know what? I'm going to say it now, statute of limitations. I punched that motherfucker with a right hook when he told me to go fuck my mother. After I'd been hunting him down for 4 days, this son of a bitch, after he raped the nun, put brooms in her, carved crosses, defecated, pissed on her, and he tells me to go fuck my mother? Well, I did punch him in the fucking jaw. I broke his jaw, and that's right, okay? Statute of limitations are over. Fuck him.
Well, that's right.
I'm sorry for getting so
It's all right.
angry, but you know what? When she was being raped and a broom was being shoved into her vagina, where she didn't have any rights. This prick, if I knew he really did it, I should have tossed him off a fucking rooftop, but I didn't. I didn't kill anybody, so the statute of limitations is okay.
All right. Well, we hope his jaw still hurts.
Well, you want to know something? We got some listeners to our podcast. We got a lot of guys in the NYPD. Last night I was with the critical response unit of Midtown South. They're the ones that respond to Madison Square Garden, any shows.
Wow.
They're the ones that protect us against the fucking abba-dabba-doos showing up
Front
with some
lines.
guns. Yeah, and they all love the podcast. Cops are starting to love the podcast. They love the real stories. You know what? When you tell the truth, Carl, you don't have to remember what you said. So today on our podcast, I admitted to breaking that motherfucker's jaw. Right, when he told me to go fuck my mother. I was up for 4 days. He wanted to fuck my mother? He didn't know my mommy. Why would he talk like that scumbag? So, and I apologize for my language out there, but in reality, this is life,
You
man.
call it like it is. The guy's
Yeah.
a scumbag. So that kind of leads into our next question. This is from Frank. Got a question for Bo. I heard him mention Louis Eppolito and Steve Caracappa, the mob cops, before. Did you ever have any run-ins with them at all?
I knew both of them very well. Now, Steve Caracappa was a sharp guy. Him, I would never believe him whacking people. Louis was my friend. Louis, I think he had a...
Let's explain it for the people that might not have heard of them before.
Okay, you got Louis Eppolito and Caracappa were the two detectives that allegedly were involved with killing people for Gas Pipe Queso, who was a mob guy. And the funny thing is, I was investigating after I retired, and I go into this auto body shop in the old neighborhood in Ozone Park, and one of the guys said, "Hey, Bo, I'm looking for who murdered this guy." So next thing is, they go, "Hey, Bo, he's your fucking old partner, Louis and them. They're the ones that took the fucking guy into the van and all that." So that's the first time I heard about it. Subsequently, it came out, Queso became a fucking rat. He gave up that he hired these detectives to go out and find out information about witnesses during the Colombo War and all that shit. And Caracappa, I think, just died, but Louis still in jail. But Louis was a tough guy. His family had mob connections. But you know what? Again, like the scumbags from the 7-5, that Dowd piece of shit and his partner that was selling drugs on Long Island, and then the DEA cop got killed. That's a fucking disgrace. And any cop that becomes a criminal should go to jail for longer than a normal person, because you're above the law, and that's the way it's got to be. You're above the law. And people are going to come back to me and say, "Well, you assaulted that guy with a right fucking hook. You broke his fucking jaw." You know what? At that time and date, it was a little different. What should I have done? Bought him fucking scrambled eggs and bacon and bought him coffee, this motherfucker, after he did what he did to that Roman Catholic nun begging for her life. And you know what? Sorry, I did it. Fuck him.
It's two totally different things altogether.
Yeah.
You were just pursuing justice, and these guys were...
No,
working
you know
for the
what I
bad
was
guys.
pursuing? I was up with my partner, Tommy Colleran. For 4 fucking days, we didn't sleep. And this cocksucker has the audacity to say, "Fuck your mother, Bo?" No. And today, if those cocksuckers that came into the precinct with the cell phone camera was there, I guarantee you today I would have taken that fucking cell phone, smashed it on the floor, and busted his fucking jaw and locked his ass up. How dare he insult the NYPD coming there? He says, "I'm going to bring your daughter in here so she could suck my dick." I'd say, take your dick out and let him take his dick out and hit him with a fucking nightstick. He would have no dick. Yeah.
Maybe that would teach people a lesson.
Man, have a little respect for the NYPD and for all cops across this great nation and around the world. You got to respect the police. If you don't respect the police, there's anarchy. Look I had some cops pull me over. One black guy, and I showed him, I said, "Excuse me, sir, by the way, I'm a retired detective." I think he knew who I was too. And he goes, "Well, I don't care about that. Let me see your license and registration." So I show it to him. I said, "Well, look, I apologize for making that illegal left turn. You want to give me a ticket, give me a ticket, but I apologize. And I'm a retired cop. One day you'll be retired too. If that courtesy can't be granted back and forth, then you know what you got? You got nothing."
That's right. Courtesy and respect go a long way.
Yes.
All right. So this is our last email. This is Jimmy from White Plains. Bo, you have mentioned gambling on previous episodes. Can you talk more about that? Did you bet sports or just casinos? What's the most you ever won and lost? Any good stories?
Yeah.
Any tips on how to get treated right by the casinos in AC and Vegas?
Yeah, one word to capitalize the whole fucking thing with Bo Dietl and gambling. Degenerate gambler. That's the fucking Bo. You got to understand something. Years ago, I used to make maybe $7-8 million a year. I was like a fucking animal. I gambled on weekends, football, 20, $100,000 a game, 20 games. I could lose hundreds, $500,000. I was a fucking degenerate. And then what would happen, Sunday would come and I'd be down and I would double up to 30 or 40,000 a game. Do you know what that's like? Where you just want to break even and pay the vig. And then when I'd go to casinos, they'd give me $500,000 lines of credit. Worst thing they ever could do. But then the casinos didn't talk to each other. So in reality, I could take $500,000 here, take $500,000 there, and they didn't communicate. Now they all communicate. And I would play baccarat, table limit, 15 to 20,000 a card, and I would play, and I would play. And I would fucking lose. And I'll tell every fucking body listening out there, if you're a gambler, you'll never fucking win. And even though my best friend owns the Hard Rock Casino Hotel, I played a little bit there. They don't build those fucking casinos with winners. So if you want to be a jerk off, think you're going to beat them, you know what you do? You take, if you want to lose $5,000 or whatever you want to do, you save it up and you go to Lansing and lose the fucking money. But don't put yourself in a hole. I've lost a lot of good things. Right now, I should be a very rich guy, but I gambled a lot of money. I'm not proud of myself. I think it's a fucking degeneracy, and anybody's a gambler. It's as addictive as alcohol or heroin. It's an addiction, gambling. I thank the good Lord I don't gamble anymore the way I used to. Like I was in AC the other day, and I ended up winning $18,000 on a little. I played just numbers on the roulette. My old badge numbers, I put combination 1, 8, 2, 12, 18, 21, 28, and I put all the combinations in there. I hit 3 times on the ball. Each time I hit on the ball, I think it was $10,500. I was betting $300. It pays you 35 to 1. So I ended up hitting 3 rolls in them. So I won the $18,000. I went, bye-bye, cash me out. It was nice. I go to check. The guy goes, do you want a check? I said, check my fucking zipper. Give me the cash.
Well, that's it. You win when you don't looking to win. And
yeah, well, you want to know something? I could afford to lose that money, but I don't tell people that gambling is any good at all. It's a horrible thing. My dad was a gambler. He lost one of my mom's houses within the family from gambling. Household Finance was the name of the company my father used to fucking. Before my mother knew it, he had the house mortgage with a Household Finance. It wasn't a happy time. So you thought I would have learned. I didn't learn. But you know what? I made a lot of money. It was my money to lose, and I lost a lot. Right now, I shouldn't even be working anymore. I should be independently wealthy. I am wealthy because I got a grandson. I got 4 healthy kids, so I am healthy. So that's a good thing.
So it's all about perspective.
Yep.
How you look at things. So let's follow up from last week. Last week was a huge news week. We covered the Michael Cohen pled guilty. Also, Paul Manafort was found guilty in one trial on 8 counts. And now some other developments have occurred. So just last week, we learned that a good friend of Trump, David Pecker.
My friend, too.
Well, Pecker made a deal for immunity. And does Trump have anything to worry about? What might leak out of Pecker?
I don't know, but David Peck and Dylan Howard are my friends, and they run American Media Magazine. Matter of fact, I may be doing a show with them. They're very good guys. In reality, what's happened is this special prosecutor now has gone fucking ape shit. Originally, it was supposed to be about Russian collusion, but he couldn't find anything there. Now he's worrying about this donkey-titted Stormy Daniels and that retarded lawyer, and he's a punk. This guy,
Avenatti?
Avenatti. He owes over $10 million, this guy. He wants to run for president. He owes $10 million in fucking lawsuit. I'd like to, why don't we get Avenatti on the show over here? I'd like to question him myself. This is an ambulance-chasing punk, and I'll call him that to his face. And in reality, he's got this big-titted, dumbwit-looking broad, which I wouldn't hit with your dick, Carlo. She's disgusting. So now he couldn't find nothing with the Russian collusion. So what does he do? He goes after everything. And you saw today's paper, in the paper, they talk about the Democrats. If they take the Congress, what they're going to do? They're going after Trump's real estate. They can't suck it up. They can't admit. Look at with Mexico, he's making deals. He's making deals with Canada. The fucking Chinese there are 30% their economy's down. He's squeezing them by their little fucking nuts over there. He's doing good things. And now all of a sudden that little guy up there in North Korea, he knows Trump means business. Now the other guys over there in fucking Iran, Ayatollah cockhead over there, says, we're going to send our Navy. We're going to shut down the Straits of Hormuz. I will guarantee you, Trump and Mad Dog, our defense guy, Mad Dog, will take out his whole fucking Navy in a matter of 3 or 4 minutes. Let him put his Navy out there. Let him show the blockade. There'll be no fucking Iranian Navy, I'll guarantee you. And Trump won't sit back. You know what Trump's doing? Making us feel proud. But yet, turn on CNN every day. The tagline is something stupid about Trump. Nothing about the positives. Did you see the stock market? What's going on? Highest of all times. Now we have people who got getting more money in their checks. Hey, this prick, I got to call him a prick. Mr. President, you're a prick because I'm paying more fucking taxes and I can't write things off. But I still support him and let me pay more taxes. But I like the way this country feels now. I like the way we're all proud to be Americans. Why don't these liberal news media, everybody says about this fake news, Trump's, it's fake news, fake news. You want to know something? Watch the fucking news. Why on CNN, MSNBC, even CBS, NBC, why don't they talk about the positive things that this president is doing? They hate this man. They can't accept the fact that he beat Hillary the Muncher there. You know what I mean?
Well, I think they hate him as much as they love him, because if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't be getting these tremendous ratings. People are subscribing to newspapers. People are reading every day. He's transformed the national politics into a reality show.
You see the move that he did, when
we'll take it bit by bit, because there's a lot that we talked about. So, the first thing is the trade deal with Mexico. So there's some big points of that. He spoke with the president of Mexico, Enrique Peña Nieto.
Enrique Bermudez, what's his name?
Enrique Peña Nieto.
Peña, like a piñata?
Peña.
Enrico Peñata? What are you saying, Carlo? Spit it out.
Enrique Peña Nieto.
Oh, okay. He's that nice-looking guy, handsome-looking dude. Yeah,
he's on his way out, but
who's taking over? An old dude?
I forgot they just had their election, but the big points of the
probably
deal.
Pablo Cuervo. You like drinking Cuervo?
Cuervo?
Yeah, I like that.
That's good stuff.
Good.
But the big points of the deal is that auto manufacturing, 75% of all parts must be produced in North America, and 50 to 45% of auto parts have to be made by workers earning at least $16 an hour. And the agreement, this new deal, will last for 16 years and reviewed every 6. And now he left Canada out, but the Canadian foreign minister is in Washington today for talks. And on this news, world stock markets are up at a 6-month high as these tensions of the trade war.
Well, you know what? The numbers that you just talked about, you know what that means? That means competitive pricing, where they don't have a guy working for $1 a fucking day making things. There's a competitive pricing. And that's what he always wanted to. Free trade should be open around the world. Free trade. No tariffs for anybody. No tariffs for us. No tariffs for the other country. And that's what he's going for. And I like it. Wipe out the tariffs for everybody. Let free trade happen. And that's a very important thing. And Kudlow is his business guy. I know Kudlow for a lot of years. Very smart guy. And my friend John Myers meets with him. John used to be the chairman, CEO of GE Asset Management. So there's a lot of brains working in there, not just liberal penis-licking guys. These are real business fucking guys that know about business, not how many dildos they stuck up their ass.
Yeah, well, it seems that Trump knows a lot about business, and he's making great ideas happen. Well,
just look at the cabinets, the old cabinets under Obama. A lot of dildos being passed up each other's ass because there were a bunch of non-entities. Now you got real people. You got successful businessmen. This is what this president's about, bringing in the best of breed. Why bring morons in there?
Right. You got to have the best people doing the best things.
Yeah.
But despite all this news, there was just a poll release on Newsmax that about 40% of American families are struggling to meet at least one of their basic needs, either food, healthcare, housing, or utilities. What do you think the president or anyone can do to make it so that more Americans are feeling this positivity?
Well, you know what? Well, first of all, the first thing that the president should do is cut, if not eliminate, foreign aid. Fuck them over there. They don't like us any fucking way. Let's use that money to help the people in America. There shouldn't be a child that goes home to sleep hungry. There should be education, but the good education. Like when I ran for mayor against this douchebag, right? All of a sudden, we have the highest graduate rate. Yeah, but you know who's suffering? The black and Hispanic kids. They graduate them, but they can't pass a fucking college test. My problem is, if kids need help in education, we got to help them. You don't just promote them and throw them out. And everybody doesn't have to go to fucking college. Duh. I didn't go to fucking college. You know, mechanics, plumbers. I mean, this college bullshit. Some people ain't made for that. Right. All of a sudden, you'll go for college like Margot's son. That's not a college material. Anthony, great kid, hardworking kid. That's not college material. Send him for 4 fucking years, smoke pot, drink, and he comes out, duh, ain't got a job. No, you know what he did? He went to mechanic schools to fix marine engines. Now he's got a trade. He's a fucking mechanic. This is what we got to look for. More people to do things. But laziness comes with a college degree. Fucking laziness. I take a blue-collar worker who works hard over a fucking college graduate anytime because they fill you. Look what's going on in our colleges. They won't even let on our college campuses someone who has another idea, a conservative idea.
It's a big problem.
Freedom of speech.
It's a big problem because you're not getting exposed to any ideas, and you're having a generation of kids that are coming out of college.
And that's exactly what the news media is focusing on, the negatives about hard work. All it is about what you should get when you, that other one, what's her name from Queens? Well, I don't know, that's already old.
Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah, whatever her friggin' name is, right? She wants free education, free medical, free. Yeah, I told you the other day what it's going to cost, $30 trillion of new taxes over 10 years. Where do we get to pay for it? Where are we going to get the rice and beans to pay for the fucking thing, right?
It's right. And also, you know, you have all these young graduates who are coming out.
Can't find a fucking job.
Can't find a job, and they have really high debt.
Yeah, they all got debt because they go to college, they get out, they can't find a job, they got debt. Well, duh, what do we do? Maybe we should pay all that debt off and take the money out of... No. What we have to do is worry about one people that you're going and everybody's going. Our fucking senior citizens are where we're all going. We've got to take care of them. We've got to give them the best medical we can. They busted their asses their whole life working hard. Now all of a sudden they get afflicted. People who have strokes and stuff like that. We've got to take care of our people that worked hard and our veterans. Man, that to me is like, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. There should not be a veteran, and I told Trump when he ran, get a VA card where veterans could go to any fucking hospital and get services and pass the bill to the VA administration. Let them get medical anywhere like we would do with a fucking illegal alien that comes over here across the border. They could go to any hospital. They can't even speak English, but they get all the services. What about our veterans getting services at any hospital? I mean, these are just common sense shit.
Yeah, a lot of common sense.
I love this podcast because I get to say what the fuck I got to say.
All right, let's keep it rolling.
And I ain't running for no fucking political office. You can lick my shaved balls.
That's right. So these are things that will help the middle class. The
what, licking my shaved balls?
No, just, you know, this emphasis on vocational training.
Yes.
Getting people education that's going to lead to jobs.
Yes.
And giving senior citizens.
You should shave your balls. You know why? With this heat, you shave your balls. It's cooler. It's just
cools things down.
A little something.
That's another tip. So you learn a lot of things.
Yes. This podcast is very informative.
We really cover all bases.
Yeah.
So we're going from one area to a completely different area. So let's talk more about Iran. So Iran is having a little trouble. Donald Trump rescinded the deal where they would stop producing nuclear material.
Yeah.
In exchange, Donald Trump put more penalties on them.
Yeah.
Put more sanctions.
We'll squeeze them because next one is the oil. The fucking oil's going down.
Yesterday, Iran's parliament rejected President Rouhani's explanation for economic hardship. So his faction, his political faction, is having a real hard time because the people of Iran, by all accounts, are nice people.
No, I know a lot of Iranians. The Iranian people are wonderful, smart people. The pillars of education come out of that area there. The Iranian people are wonderful people.
And it's a very
they want to get rid of this.
population.
They want to get rid of this bullshit, right? They want to live with freedom. They don't want to. They want to be able to say what they want to say. And you don't want to know something? I think that there could be a good rebellion there, and that could be the best thing that can happen. And let the people get a democracy there where they can vote for a real government instead of the oppressive bullshit that goes on. Where's our $150 billion that nincompoop Obama? And I'll call him a nincompoop. I'm sorry, Mr. President Obama, but you're a nincompoop for giving out $150 million. And what's this bullshit about $2 billion in cash? When the hell are you doing a deal where it fly in $2 billion in cash? Where'd that cash go? You know where that went? People's
into the
pockets and the
Ayatollah's
terror, and into the Ayatollah's pocket guarantee. Does anybody question how do you give $2 billion in cash and stock up a fucking plane with $2 billion for the blues over there? $150 billion. Everybody goes, oh, that's nice. That's not. I can't comprehend.
So this situation, the economic sanctions, are causing the Iranian regime to strike out. So yesterday, they also says that they can control the Persian Gulf and the Straits of Hormuz in a matter of minutes. They have 100 boats and ships. They did a military drill, and that would shut down 20% of all oil in the world. So do you think they really got us there? What would happen?
Oh, I'd like to see 100 ships show up there. Like I said, the F-16s, take those fucking abadabadoo's out one by one. That will be over in a matter of minutes with a couple of air-to-ground missiles. Boom, 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 boom. Bye-bye, Navy. And then the Iranian Navy will be with the deep blue sea. Come on, baby. I'd like to have a good fight, smack them down, because they need a smacking. And they got to realize you're fucking with America. We're the greatest country in the world, and now we have a great, tough president. This ain't no Obama. This ain't going to be lip service. Obama would have said, oh, you know, come by. Nice man. Spoke very well, but did dick. For 8 years, did dick. Put us into this problem that we have now. And if any of my liberal friends listen to our podcast, I'll say it to your face, he did dick, and that was it.
Okay, so we have a big situation that might be brewing there in the Middle East with oil. Oil prices might go up if this happens. It could be a big problem. So anyway, Trump also had a tough week this week. The great Senator John McCain passed away Saturday, and the media jumped right on Trump. What
you know what it was? When John McCain ran for president of the United States, the liberal media, you know what they call him? Governor George Wallace. He's a racist. He's a warg. They all despised him. But when he came out and said something against Trump, now they come by him. It's all about one thing, against President Trump. It's so, you don't have to be a brain surgeon to see what went on. They hated McCain. McCain was like the war hog, the Governor George Wallace, the racist this. They called him every name in the book, the left. Now, because he said something against Trump, now they welcome him with open arms. I knew John McCain over the years. I met him with Imus. We were at hospitals we've opened up together in San Antonio. I love John McCain as an American, a great American, a real hero American. I didn't agree with a lot of his politics at the end. And you want to know something? Maybe being incarcerated for those years, taking those beatings. Did you know he couldn't raise his hands
He was a
higher than this? And they beat him. Those little fucking French fried cocksuckers beat the shit out of, broke his arms and all that. These little fucking rice-eating motherfuckers broke his arms and beat him. But he didn't give up. He was great. He said, that's why it's great to be in America. So take his politics out, takes his stance out. I'm so happy what the president has done now and recognize him for who he is. And I think they should rename that building because he was a great senator. And God bless John McCain and his family. And that's the end of this. And the president reacted first, not that quickly, but when he thought about it, I give him credit because I always say a narcissist can't say I'm sorry or can't change its value. He did change. And that let people know Donald Trump can change his views. And he did change. And he came strongly in support of John McCain and his family. And God bless John McCain and his family. And God bless our president.
So what you just did was very easy to do. You separated John McCain, the man, from John McCain, the politician. You gave him praise where praise was due and said you didn't agree with his politics. Why do you think that President Trump has such a hard time doing that? He does great things with business, stock markets up, and anytime there's some kind of interpersonal feud or whatever, it's good for controversy. He comes from reality TV.
Yeah.
But, on the presidential stage, he can't really carry out these ceremonial duties. He can't suck it up and just do what he has to do.
Well, you know how I tweeted yesterday.
Right.
I tweeted to the president about, please, express his true values of being an American hero. Express that, put politics aside, and things turned around. Look I don't mind the person that he's still pissed off the president that this guy was in such bad shape, but yet he made his way into Washington to vote with that fucking horseshit Obamacare bill. And the president felt as though with that vote, that was something that he took personal. That was in his mind. So you got to wait things out. All he had to do is stay home. He didn't have to come in there and stick it. And then he said some negative things about the president. The president is an egotistical guy. He's a narcissist. I guess we all got a little narcissism. I guess I'm a narcissist a little bit too. But you want to know something? But I can forgive and forget. Someone does something wrong, I accept, I'm sorry. And the president said in not so many ways that he appreciated and that John McCain was a true American hero, and his family should accept that and leave it alone and forget about dumb politics.
All right. I think that's an important sentiment to express, that there's more things than politics, there's more things than personal feuds, that we have an ideals in America, to buy into those ideals. That's what's really what this country is all about. We should focus on that. Mm-hmm. So we have some more news. We're on national. Let's get to local. Big Bird, Bill de Blasio, just came out in the New York Daily News that Bill de Blasio has been holding more meetings at Gracie Mansion than he has at City Hall.
Yeah,
what do
you know why? Well, he gets free food there. When you smoke pot, you get fucking hungry. Him and his old lady there, they've been known to smoke a little fucking reefer. He's so fucking lazy, he doesn't even want to go to City Hall. This bum, when I worked against him, this bum would take a caravan all the way to Brooklyn. Yeah, Vasport Green right on the next block. He could have worked out there. But no, he's got to be a big dickhead. And he's getting uglier and uglier. I watched him on Errol Lewis last night. He's got long sideburns. His hair's getting long. He looks like the fucking lib that he is, the communist lib that he is. He's starting to convey himself. And you look at his face. And Errol Lewis throws, on New York One, throws little softballs. I talked about what was going on with New York City, what was going on with the housing, with the lead. I talked about the ACS, about bringing in retired cops, about the real situations. I just feel sorry for New York City. You know why I feel sorry? Because I'll never run for mayor or any other public office. I got my fill. I tried my hardest for 14 months. People spoke. They want this fucking nincompoop back. That's what they got. The other thing is he's got audacity. I'm meeting with 150 lobbyists. He's meeting with lobbyists all over. He's preparing his little war chest to run for liberal president of the United States. I think the people of America know he's a fucking loser. He's a loser in New York, and I'll follow that prick around wherever he goes. And I will maybe show up one day where out in Iowa or something. I'd like to show up and say, hey, Big Bird, you're a fucking loser in New York. You're a loser out here.
Well, he's spending a lot of time on the campaign trail. He's pushing his candidates. He's come out in support of all these Democratic candidates nationwide.
Yeah, him with that psychopath from Vermont, that fucking nut, Bernie Sanders. That guy should be taken out with a fucking straitjacket.
Well, a lot of people might agree with that. But meanwhile, while he's out doing all these things and on the campaign trail and trying to get to his next job, New York City is having a transit crisis, NYCHA crisis, homeless problems getting worse. So where do you think the solution is? What do you think is going to happen? Who's going to come clean up this mess?
Well, you know what? I'm starting to like this city council guy. You know, he's an admittedly gay guy. Whatever. Corey Johnson. I'm going to set up a meeting. I want to meet with him. I like him. I like his ideas. I think he's good for New York City. He's above corruption. And I've been told by business guys, he is not with his hand out. He truly wants to help this city. He might be a guy that I will back. And everybody's going to say, wait, Bo, you're going to back a liberal gay guy? Yeah. If he does the right thing for this city, I'll back a guy who's transsexual, trisexual, try every fucking thing. I don't care. That ain't my fucking business. As long as he has in his heart to help this city, which I think he does. And I don't knock gay people, lesbianics. Whatever you want to do, that's your life. But your heart has to be in helping this city. And if he's going to be a gay liberal guy that's going to help this city, you got Bo on board.
Well, there's a big difference between being socially liberal and fiscally liberal. So you think that social liberal is fine, but just, as long
I think he's fiscally conservative. He's a smart
balancing
guy.
the budget, spending the money where it needs to be spent, deploying the resources where
Matter
they
of
need to
fact, make a meeting with me, Carlo. I want to meet this Corey. Maybe we'll bring him up to Rayo's. We'll feed him some fucking meatballs or something, all right?
I think he might like that. We could
Okay.
set, maybe he'll come on the show.
Yeah, I'd like that because I heard from some business guys that needed stuff done, and they were there. And he got it done. This was legally stuff. He got it done, and he didn't want nothing. He didn't ask for nothing, and he just got it done for the betterment of the city. And
Well,
I
that's
like
what we need.
that.
We need somebody that's going to better the city and keep it running.
Right.
I mean, we have a bad transit problem. There's bad delays every day. So from the city back to the media. So CNN found itself in a little bit of a pickle.
A pickle where up their ass? What kind of pickle?
I think the media is. Do you think they're too eager to jump on anti-Trump stories before they really investigate them?
Like
Because now this whole thing
I
came
said at
out.
the beginning of our conversation, there is nothing that Trump can do as positive as it is where it'll give him any credit. The only thing they look for, you can look at the tagline. I walk into our building at One Penn Plaza, Venado, and they have CNN on there. And every time I look up, it's a tagline against Trump. Nothing fucking positive. Not Dow hits all-time high. Nothing positive. President makes deal with Mexico for the tariffs and all that. No, nothing. Absolutely. Then they jump on top of my friend Lanny Davis. He's my lawyer too. But Lanny got caught with his dick in his mouth, I think. He's the one that said, I believe that he had information about that Cohen the rat, had information about the Russian meeting and all that bullshit. Then he backed up and he swallowed his dick back.
Yeah, he said he made a mistake.
Yeah.
But what do you think this divisiveness is causing? Because it's a real problem that people that love Trump, they'll follow him off a cliff. And people that hate Trump, well, if he says the sky is blue, they'll say it's red.
Same thing when I ran, Carlo. There was a lot of people that didn't like me telling the truth, telling them to their face, and being what they're not because they have no fucking balls. They don't like somebody who tells it like it is. They want to hear the Obama, oh, boom, come by, hey, everything's great. No, everything is not great. You need to be strong and tough and get things done and care about people.
Right. So, there's leaders and there's followers.
Yeah, and a lot of the lefties are just penis-licking followers.
Well, a great poet once said, there's leaders and followers, but I'd rather be a dick than a swallower.
I like that, Carlo. Very, very, very conclusive today.
Well, it's Kanye West.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So let's round out the show in some comedy news. Louis C.K., famous comedian, got some controversy that he returned to the stage at the Comedy Cellar right here in New York, and his first appearance since his big scandal 10 months ago. Do you think he deserves a second chance?
I think everybody deserves a second, except for Harvey Weinstein. He should be tarred and feathered, that fat, ugly pig. He should be just beat up because he's fucking ugly. He's a pot-faced fat prick that went into it me, and I dislike him, and he did a lot of bad things, not just to women, to men. He's a punk, and that little Sir Lancelot-looking fucking ambulance chaser, Ben Brofman, that lawyer, all he cares about is one thing, El Greeno. And you want to know something? I just hope that they don't back off this case with Harvey. As far as CK, I don't really know the case that well, but you know what? In today's environment, anybody can make an allegation against anybody. Me too. Me and my dick.
What do
you
think?
know what I mean?
This is happening everywhere because there's no more due process. People are being convicted.
Look at my friend Les Moonves. He got fucking blamed for everything. Yeah. But a lot of people don't realize Les Moonves met his wife. She worked for fucking CBS. He was banging her on the side when he was married. I mean, this was the way of the world then. Things have changed now with this Me Too. Is it good? Yes. I don't want any woman to be objected to sexual harassment. I really believe there should be a scapegoats and there should be escapeways. That's why I put together, and you know what we do? We set together a secure website as a third party to investigate any allegations of discrimination or sexual abuse in the corporation. This way they don't have to go to the HR because people are afraid to go there. So listen, I want the truth. If someone is harassing somebody, could be my daughters, and I don't want no one harassing. And I think corporations have to adhere to this new Me Too movement that we will not accept. And people don't realize right now, if I'm a single guy, Bo Dietl, single guy, right? Which I'm not. But Bo Dietl, single guy, and I got some cute chick working for me, a little hotsy-totsy, and I'm banging-tating her voluntarily. Do you want to know something? I'm guilty of Me Too sexual harassment. You know why? Because I'm her boss, and she will say, well, I only blew Bo because he's my fucking boss. So people have to realize out there, don't bang and tate anybody that works for you. It's very simple.
But do you think this is creating
Keep
a
your
climate where
ding-dong
people-
in your pants at work.
People don't want to even interact. They don't even want to deal with the problem because they might, they could be coworkers, and then 10
You
years
can't
down the
do it.
line, the guy is the boss, and now she wants to come out.
Well, you want to know something? You can't do it. You got to be careful. Everything's got now danger signs on it. Simple.
Everything's got danger
So,
signs.
Carla, what'd you learn from that? Don't bang and tate anybody that you're the boss for.
Well, I will never.
Okay.
So let's get back to our segment. Last week we started at Punk of the Week. This week, who's our Punk of the Week?
Well, last week we named Michael Cohen,
Yeah,
right?
So we have a lot to choose from this week.
We got to make the Punk of the Week. I think we're going to make my friend Jeff Zucker.
Jeff Zucker.
I just
Head of
talked to him.
CNN.
He's got to call me back today. But I'm going to make him Punk of the Week because he's got to realize that CNN has to have a little variableness to it. Can't be totally one-sided. They should open up. Fair and balanced is the verbiage that Fox uses. They should do that in CNN. CNN should have a guy who's on the other side like me. And I'll go on that Chris Como show. I talked to Chris. I talked to Jeff. I said, I want to do this show. I want to give the other side of it. Why not? Why not let people hear both sides of it?
I think it's important because people aren't hearing both sides. People just want to hear what they want to hear on both
Right.
sides, Republican and Democrat,
Right.
conservative and liberal.
So
They just
I
hear-
put
hear
the
what-
offer out to Mr. Zucker and to Chris Como, and I said, I'm ready to go, man. I'll be the guy that goes into CNN and give both sides of it. Why don't people want to hear both sides?
So Jeff Zucker, head of CNN, you heard it from Bo. Let's get to the meat of things.
Let me
Let's
just see if
talk
he
about-
called me back. Let's see if he called me back. Well, it doesn't look it.
Let's talk real. Let's get real. Let's get Bo on. Let's get Bo out to nationwide audience, which we do on this podcast. We tell the truth. We tell it like we see it.
What guests do we got coming up in
We
the
got some amazing guests. We can't announce them yet because
That means we got no fucking money?
no,
What does
we
that
got
mean?
we got some great people.
okay.
You know who's coming on, but
Yeah, I
let's
know.
keep it a surprise.
Okay.
We got great things coming after Labor Day. We had a great summer. Everyone's writing in. They love the show. Keep writing. Keep writing to onetoughpodcast@gmail.com. We have some amazing things coming up for the fall. You guys are going to be really happy.
You want to know something, Carlo? Again, we should call this not just One Tough Podcast. This should be called The Truth. Like I said, when you tell the truth, you don't have to remember what you said. My harshness, my roughness is only life about what it's all about. When I admitted to breaking this guy's jaw today, it's the first time I admitted that. You want to know. But I don't give a fuck. Because statute of limitation is over. And if people want to look at me badly, you find out that a nun giving her life to our sisters as charity went out shopping for old Italian people and Spanish people in East Harlem. She came back. These two guys beat the shit out of her. Then what they did was they raped her. They put a broom into her vagina. They carved 27 cross and pissed on her and threw her down the stairs. Now, if a guy told you that was there, we had the palm print, and he tells you to go fuck your mother, what would you do, Carlo? What would you do?
I don't know if I would have the same restraint as you. You only hit him in the face. I probably would have shot him in the face. Probably would have shot him in the dick.
Well, that's my emotions coming out, and
Well, the truth hurts. The truth is like a right hook. It might catch you off guard, but it's the truth.
Well, all I can say is that this is the greatest thing I've done in entertainment. I've been in a lot of movies, a lot of shows, but I love our podcast because I get to be Bo and say what I want. Remember when I ran for mayor, I had to watch what I said. And I'll say it again. The judge in the Supreme Court looked like fucking de Blasio's wife. They looked like sisters. They called me a racist because I said they looked identical. Not because they were black, because they looked identical. Now go fuck yourself, whoever doesn't like that.
Yeah, they couldn't. They can go fuck themselves. And they just have to deal with it.
That's it.
So we're still giving away signed copies of Bo's book to one reviewer every week. This week's winner, Mike from Astoria, Queens. We will be sending that out ASAP. Follow the show on social media at One Tough Podcast on Twitter. Bo is at Bo Deedle on Twitter and at The Real Bo Deedle on Instagram. And you can find me at CJ Coutinho on all platforms. And please like, review, and subscribe to our show on iTunes.
Pass the word. Pass the word.
Everyone's writing in. We're getting nationwide and global exposure. Make sure to sign up for Gas Digital using code OTP to save 15%. You'll get instant access to HD video, live chat, forums, and archives of all the shows on the network. And it's a great network, great things happening. So sign up using our code OTP. And we'll see you next week. We got some great guests coming.
Thank you.